Hey everybody, welcome to Wootrader. We've got some pretty exciting new tools that we're very excited to show off for you. When you first log in here, you'll see our normal daily rankings page. But if you head up onto the reports tab and scroll down, you'll notice we've actually got a couple new analyst information tabs here. So the first one that we're going to take a look at is the analyst ratings history. So on this page, we've got our analyst ratings and price target history information loaded daily from Benzinga.com. So you'll be able to go in here, take a look every day, and see what new actions and price targets have been issued from the major analysts on Wall Street. Along the left side, you'll see all the analyst names, as well as the stocks that they've been issuing new reports for, as well as the date and time. Moving on towards the middle here, you'll see the prior action and rating columns. So over here in the prior, this is the prior rating if there was one from this analyst, what action has been taken, and then what the new rating is. In the then column, you'll also see the Wootrader ranking for the day that ranking was issued. So let's take a look at CNS down here. CNS, it was previously an underperform and was upgraded to outperform. On the day that this rating was issued, Wootrader had it ranked as a C. Moving on over here to the right side, you'll see the prior target, action, target, and price then columns. Staying with our example of CNS, you'll be able to go over, take a look at the prior target was $28. The action was raised to a $37 new price target. And then the day that was issued, the stock price was $33.37. If you scroll on down to the bottom, you'll be able to notice that we have about 4,400 different pages of this information. So you can either browse through it on your own, or you could head back up to the top and use the search bar to look for a particular stock. Now let's take a look at these analysts and get a little bit more information about them and how well they're performing. Over here on the left side, you can click on any of the analyst names and get the more information about them. Let's take a look at Bank of America. The first thing that you'll see up here is a quick breakdown of the ratings and price targets. This is just some statistical information on how well they're performing. Right now, you can see that the current Bank of America analyst ratings accuracy is only about 34%. And over here, the price target accuracy is slightly better at 49%. Below that information, you can see the current days covered for ratings and price targets, the number of stocks covered, as well as the most recent issuance for either a price target or a rating. In this case, Franklin Resources at an underperform, and Cohen & Steers at a price target of $37, which is about 10% up from what its current closing price is. Up here at the very top, you can see the current ratings weight and price target weight. This is a composition of the accuracy percentages as well as the number of days covered by Bank of America's analysts. In this case, more days equals a slightly heavier weighting in our models. So you can see that despite the low accuracy of Bank of America's ratings, its ratings weight is a little bit higher, simply due to the number of days covered. If we scroll down, we can see a table of all of the different stocks that Bank of America has issued either a rating or a price target for. The first two columns, the info and actions columns, are more standard with a lot of our tools across Wootrader. You'll be able to click either here, get a little bit more information, read any other analyst ratings and articles related, or get a little bit of tip ranks info. Over here in the actions column, you can add the stock to your favorite stock positions to either take action on later or add to your portfolio. Next is the date and ratings columns. In this case, we can see that KPTI has been issued an underperform rating on March 15th. At the time that this was issued, Wootrader had a current rating of C for this stock. The target is an $11 price target, which is about 24% higher than it currently is. Now this final column over here, R, you can see what the current Wootrader rank is and today's current closing price. Now if we go up here to the Overview tab, this will give us a little bit more information about Bank of America's analysts and how well they're doing. So you can see the current number of ratings that they have issued. they have 517 active ratings. You can see that this is broken down between outperform, perform, and underperform. So right now they have 196 outperform, 170 performs, and 151 underperforms. On average, the price target is about 20% higher than the current closing price for the different stocks that they issue this for, with 263 active price targets. Now down here at the bottom, you can see the current high and low price targets. So you can see the full range from 1700% up to a 91% decline. These other three quadrants reflect the same information from 1 month ago, 2 months ago, and 3 months ago. So you can see how they've changed over time. So for instance, 3 months ago, they issued 206 outperform ratings. 2 months ago, it was only 200. And then finally 1 month ago, it was 197. So they've been declining over time and are maybe a little bit bearish towards the markets at the moment. Now let's go over here and take a look at the past performance tab. Just as it sounds like, this is a list of all the past performance of Bank of America's analyst reports. So we've got a list of all the different stocks, when they initiated a report, what the ratings were, where it started, ended, the number of days that it was open, and then of course the end price and the percentages. Let's go back a couple pages to find a good example. So let's take a look at this one right here, stock ETE. They initiated the report on February 17th with a rating of perform. On that day, the opening price was $6.28 and the S&P opened at $1898.80. 15 trading days later, on March 10th, it closed at $7.75 and the S&P closed at $1981.44. ETE had an increase of 23% and the S&P 500 had an increase of 4.35% in that same period of time. So for this time period, ETE outperformed at the S&P 500 by 437%. And the accuracy is 0. They were not correct. They estimated that on average, ETE would only match the S&P 500 for their performance, when in fact it actually quite outperformed it. If we take a look at another one here, we can look at HEP, right down here, number 3. On the same day, the 17th, they issued an outperform rating, opening at $25.30. 15 trading days later, it closed at $30.49 for an increase of 20.51%. Again, in that same period, the S&P rose 4.35%, so it outperformed by 371%, and they were in fact accurate. So it was weighted 100% accuracy because Bank of America did issue an outperform, and it did in fact outperform. Now you can scroll down this column and see that in most cases, it's either 100% or 0%. This just reflects how much whether the analysts were correct in what they asserted or completely wrong. There's a few small deviances down here. We've got a few 50% where the stocks were issued a perform rating, and then they actually did pretty well in matching that, but not entirely. So in this case, it rose 9%, the S&P rose 7%, so it only slightly outperformed, so it's given a 50%. It was pretty close, but not quite. So let's head back up here to the top. We'll notice that there's this little button right here that says stock ratings. So far, all this data that we've been looking for is all of the ratings information from Bank of America. However, if we click this little button, we can flip it over to price targets. Now we've got the price target data for all of the issuances that Bank of America has come out with. So again, this is ordered by date, so you might want to go back a little ways to take a look at your examples. But we see over here the stock tickers, our info and action buttons, the date the price target was issued, what the target was, as well as where that was in relation. So in this case, it was 21% lower than the last price. The starting price on that next day, when it was valid until, the days that that target was open, expected price, actual price, and the actual accuracy percentage. So you can go through here, Just like normal, you've got 32 pages of this information for this particular analyst. You can search for particular stocks. Or now, if we want, we can also go back up and take a look at one of these particular equities and see how the information breaks down within it. Now, in addition to those new tools that I just showed you, we've also integrated the Benzinga data into all of our individual equities information pages. If you click on any particular equity from anywhere on the site, you'll be brought here to their information page. We scroll down, click on the Analysts tab, we'll be brought to this quick overview. Right here, we can see the total number of analysts currently covering the stock, as well as the distribution. We've got 3 with outperform, 8 with perform, and 1 with underperform. We've also got this price information showing that currently the weighted price targets range from $77, a mean price target, $78. We've got 11 estimates ranging from 92 all the way down to 65. Now, what's particularly interesting is that we can also look at this information as it changed over time. So currently, we can see the 1 month ago data, 2 months ago, and 3 months ago. In this case, we've had the same number of estimates pretty much the whole way through, so that's pretty consistent. What's interesting though, is we can see that the high and low price targets have changed. So in those cases, we might want to take that into consideration if we're looking at this stock. If we come back up here to the top, we go to the overview, we can switch to active ratings. Now this screen shows us all the current analysts that are covering this stock, as well as the date that they issued it. If they had previously issued any coverage, this is where that'll be. The actions, the current ratings, and then over here on the right side, we've got the accuracy and weight columns. Now in this case, we can see the current accuracy for each of these different analysts in covering this stock. And you can see how much each of them is being weighted within our different models. The most weight being given to, of course, the analysts that have the most accurate outcomes. If we come up here, click on active ratings, we can go down to active price targets and get the price target information from the current analysts that are covering this stock. Once again, we can see the analyst names, the dates that they issued, any prior targets, actions recommended, the targets that they've now issued, along with the percent change from wherever that opening price was on that day, and the accuracy and weight columns. Once again, the most weight being applied to the most accurate analysts. Now if we go back up here, we can go down to the ratings history. And now this one actually has a full history of all of the different analysts that have covered this stock, not just the current ones. So you can go back in time and see what previous analysts have said and compare that to the current analysts. So we've got the analysts over here on the left side, along with the date that they covered it, any prior recommendations, the current ratings, or the ratings that they issued at that time, whatever the current Woo rating was at that time, prior price targets, actions, current price targets, and the current price at that time that that was issued. Now let's head back up over here and go to the general rankings page. Now back here from the general rankings page, we can scroll down here to section number 3, analyst estimates, and see the brand new category of screeners that have been added using the Benzinga data. This is number 9, the analyst ratings and price targets. If we come back up here to the top, click on overview, go down to advanced. Now if we scroll back down to section number 3, this is the analyst estimates. Once again, here's our number 9 and the full list of all of the different screeners that compose this category using the Benzinga data. So you can see that we include things such as weighted price target, weighted rating, the absolute price target and rating, as well as the price target change and rating change over 1 month, 2 month, or 3 months. Obviously, look right across the screen. We can see the current Woo ranking based on those different screeners, the indicators, values, the date that this information was last updated, as well as the industry rate, weight, and ranking, as well as the industry, sector, and S&P performance using these different standards. So if you like any of these particular screeners and you want to use them for future performance, you can click on them. And this will give you a customized output of stocks ranked based upon using that particular screener. If you want to save it for future use, simply just click this little heart. For now, let's go back here to the stocks page. Scroll up to the top. You can click on reports. And let's go down here to the analyst performance. Now over here in the new analyst performance tool, we've also brought in that Benzinga data to cover all of the different analysts and how well they're actually performing. So the first thing that you'll notice over here is all of the analysts across the side. You can of course sort this by different names or search up here in the corner if you're looking for a particular analyst. The next column right here, the number of ratings. So this is the total number of ratings that each of these different analysts has issued, followed by the accuracy of those different ratings. So in this case, we can see that Barclays has issued the most number of ratings, and that average rating accuracy of all of those is about 27%. The next column is the total days covered by ratings, so 249,000 days, not too shabby, as well as the weight of those ratings. So we of course weight these ratings differently based upon how much time is spent covered, as well as the accuracy. We do about 80% weight to the accuracy and about 20% to the days covered. So this makes up for some of the younger analysts that have a fewer days but a higher accuracy because of those fewer days covered. Now moving across over here to the right side, we can see the number of price targets issued and the price targets accuracy, and once again, the days covered by those targets. So in this case, we can see that Barclays has issued 1,015 price targets with an accuracy of about 67%, with about 244,000 different days covered. And once again, we can see the weight that those are being given. And in this case, it's a much higher weight as compared to the rating, because you can see that their accuracy is much higher. So once again, the weight is split up about 80-20 between accuracy and the total number of days covered. So if we want to say find whoever is the most accurate by this rating, we can see here's a 99%. However, they've only issued one price target for about 33 days covered. So while they're given a pretty good weighting here, that's tempered a little bit by the fact that they don't have too much longevity. Now let's move on back to the general screen up here for Wootrader. So back here at our main daily rankings page, we've also integrated that Benzinga data into our handy info column. If you were to click on this little info icon right here on any of these stocks, it'll bring up a summary of all of their essential information. So you don't have to actually go into their detailed info page in order to collect that. You can see right up here, we've got the weighted price target and the weighted rating that's now been added to this column. We close out of that. We can also see here under our lightning bolt icon, any of the latest news headlines related to this stock, as well as a new analyst tab up here, which will show you all of the analyst information and actions that have happened recently. Finally, we've also included this into our new warning icons over here. If any of these stocks were not covered by an analyst and had no reports on them, that would show up here in the little info warning icons. Now finally, to wrap things up, we're going to talk about two more of our integrations. We've integrated that Benzinga data into our earnings calendar and the earnings coming soon calendar. So if we head on up here to the reports tab and go down, we'll take a look at the earnings calendar. We can see right here, we've added a new column that takes into account the performance weighted average of all of the different analysts. So we can see right here, we've got an average performance weighted rating of 1.49, which is bullish. So we can see that for all of these. This guy up here, he doesn't have enough ratings or no ratings at all, so that's not going to be pulled in. If we come over here, click on the information icon, this will bring up our weighted price target and weighted rating again. So this is the same little tooltip box from the last one. And then if we hover over the price over here, we can see that this is the average price target from Benzinga, Zacks, and TipRanks all included. Now let's go over here and take a look at the earnings coming soon calendar. You can see we've added this new section right here of analyst estimates. So you can see the current average rating, as well as the performance weighted target, and the number of analysts that have price targets for that particular stock. All right, so that about wraps things up. Thank you so much for watching our video today. We're really excited to bring you all of these new tools and the new integrations with all this great Benzinga data. We hope that you find some really great success with it. Let us know if it's working out for you, and we hope to hear from you all soon. Thank you so much.